So you want to start going to the gym to start putting on some serious muscle, whether increase your confidence, impress the girl that you like, look like you're coming out of an anime edit, or just impress your mom. However, with so much information out there, it's really easy to get lost in all the information. So today we're going to go over the most important principles that you need to follow to build the most amount of muscle possible. So in no particular order, let's go over the most important principles for muscle building in terms of your workout, your nutrition, rest, and sustainability long term. So before you even enter the gym, the first thing you need to do is create a plan of what you're going to do in the gym. The first part of your training plan that you need to determine is your training split, which is simply how many days you're going to go to the gym each week and which muscle groups you're going to hit on each of those days. If you're completely new to lifting and you have no idea where to start, I highly recommend starting with about a 3 or a 4 day split. However, the choice is up to you. On the screen here, I'm going to flash up a couple examples of some splits that you can follow anywhere from 3 days all the way up to 6 days, and you can choose the one that seems most interesting to you. Also, if you're scared of going to the gym or suffer from some gym intimidation, I'm going to put a link to a video up here that goes over some of the common things that you should do or try to figure out before you even go into the gym as well to make sure you're the most prepared and confident going forward so you can crush your workouts as best as you can. One important note though, whatever training split that you decide to do, you should make sure that each muscle group is hit at least 2 times per week, as that's been continually shown over time to grow the most amount of muscle long term versus hitting the muscle 1 time per week. Once you have a split decided, now it's time to decide which exercises you're going to do on each day. If you don't know if you hit a muscle hard enough, we're going to talk about that more in a second. One thing I will say though is to really target compound exercises first, such as bench presses, shoulder presses, pull-ups, squats, and these are all exercises that target multiple muscle groups at once, and they're really time efficient since they incorporate so many muscle groups, you can hit many of them at one time. If all of that is too overwhelming for you though, that's totally okay. I recommend trying to build your own workouts to see what really works for you, but there's nothing wrong with just going online or going onto YouTube and finding one of the many amazing workouts out there that you can use and copy and just stick to long term. If you do decide to build your own workouts, but don't know how to order the exercises that you've selected, I highly recommend putting the exercises that target the muscle groups that you want to grow the most towards the beginning while you're fresh, and you can hit those a lot harder, therefore stimulating more gains. From there, do the second most important muscle group, then third, fourth, working your way all the way down to the least important. As you perform the workout, write down each of the weights, sets, and reps that you do for each of the exercises and track them down, whether that be writing them down in a notebook, putting them in the notes on your phone, Google Sheets. I personally like Google Sheets, and I've made a template that I'll link down below. Just go down there, make a copy for yourself, and feel free to use that. So now that you got your lifts tracked, now what you're going to do is try to beat what you did last time, whether that being more weight, reps, or both. For example, if you're doing rows like I am here, and I got 90 pounds for 10 reps, consider doing either 95 pounds for 10 reps, or do 90 pounds again, but this time try to get an extra rep for 11. Continuing to track these numbers will show that your numbers are going up over time, and that will gamify the process, making it a lot more fun and addicting, trying to hit a new high score each time you go to the gym, making the gym a lot more fun and sustainable. Next, we need to make sure that you stay injury-free and try to make each of your exercises as effective at growing muscle as possible, and that's where your form comes in. At least for the first couple months, try to keep the weight a little bit low and really try to make sure you get your form down stat. Try to ensure that you're getting a full range of motion, stay under control the entire time, and really try to feel your target muscle group working. It might take a while for you to start really feeling your muscles activate, but over time it will happen if you just stay focused and really try to feel it working. With so many amazing exercises out there, it would be impossible to go over the form for all of them in this video, so if that's something that interests you, comment down below. However, there's plenty of fitness YouTubers and influencers out there that give great information on how to do form on any exercise ever. So go ahead, Google up or just search on YouTube any exercise form and you should be set. So over time, once you become comfortable with your form and you're confident that it's really good, then you should move over to the next important principle, and that's intensity. Intensity is simply how hard you perform an exercise and how far you bring it to failure, and basically just how hard each of your sets are. You could have the perfect program for you, you could be eating optimally, you could be sleeping the best sleep of your life. However, none of it will really matter and build any muscle if you're not pushing yourself hard in the gym to stimulate that growth to start with. The goal of each training session should be to challenge each of your muscles in your split to cause it to grow. Research shows that taking a muscle group anywhere from 5 to 0 reps of failure can stimulate significant muscle growth, with getting closer to 0 reps in the tank for being the most effective, as shown from this graph that I totally didn't steal from Renaissance Periodization. If you're unsure what failure actually feels like or getting close to failure, the weight should slow down, you should start feeling a burn or an ache during the set and a little bit after. Also, that's not always the case. Sometimes the weight just stops and you don't feel any ache or fatigue, but if the weight just stops moving, you honestly just cannot move it anymore. even if I was going to give you $1 million, you probably took that muscle completely to failure. Remember, intensity can make up for a really bad or even no program, but the perfect program cannot make up for a lack of intensity. So now that you've worked out, and you've been tracking your workouts, and your form has been perfect, you know that you're getting stronger each time because you've been tracking your workouts, now it's time to give your body the physical means and materials and building blocks to actually grow on and build and put on new muscle. When eating, it's really important to choose high protein foods that put you anywhere from the 0.7 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Without enough protein, your body's not going to have enough building blocks to actually put on and make new muscle tissue, especially since you have so much different types of protein in your body. Not all the protein that you eat goes straight to your muscles. Basically all your organs, your skin, and a bunch of different processes require a lot of protein just to keep you alive and sustain you. So making sure that you're eating plenty of protein to sustain yourself, plus putting on muscle afterwards, is going to be really, really important. Also make sure that you're eating in a calorie surplus. A lot of beginners think that they need to chug down and put down an extra 1,000, 2,000 calories per day in order to put on muscle, but please do not do that. That's just going to put on excess fat. I highly recommend only eating about a 200 to 250 calorie surplus per day for the average male. That will make sure that your body has plenty of energy to push you through your workouts and give you the extra calories to actually put on that muscle, since building muscle itself is a process that does take up calories. Also, make sure that you get a healthy balance of carbs, healthy fats, and fiber and micronutrients to make sure that your body is operating on full cylinders to push you through your workouts as hard as you can, and just make sure that everything is moving smoothly so you can build the most amount of muscle. Another small piece of nutrition is supplementation. Now, supplementation is a bajillion-dollar industry because of marketing. However, it's really just a small piece of the muscle building puzzle overall. Not to say that supplements aren't helpful and that you shouldn't take any, but instead of spending a bunch of money on supplements, it might be better to take that money in effort into really dialing in your nutrition to start with, as that's going to push you way further into your muscle building career than just supplements can. If you have your nutrition in check and you're confident in it, then it's time to look into supplementation, and I would recommend looking into these supplements roughly in this order. Protein powder to help hit your protein targets, creatine to help your workout performance, pre-workout to improve your training, assuming you're not super sensitive to caffeine, and any vitamins or minerals to help fill any nutrition gaps, such as omega-3s, vitamin D if you live in a non-sunny area or are too afraid to go outside like I am, and if you follow an American diet, generally that's lacking in iron and zinc. So now that you've been crushing your workouts and your nutrition is on point, now it's time to go for the next most important thing, and that is recovery. It's a common misconception to think that your muscles grow in the gym, and really that's not the case. It's the other 23 hours out of the gym is where your body actually heals and builds up muscle. So kick your feet up and try to relax as much as you can. Watch any show you like, subscribe to adorable YouTubers, play video games, or whatever other activities get you physically and mentally relaxed. Your body makes the most positive changes when you sleep. Make sure that you're not only getting enough hours of sleep, but also make sure you get enough quality hours of sleep. Try to avoid screens 1 hour before bed, or at least get some blue light blockers, and try to avoid any unnecessary lights and sounds by putting on a fan or some sort of white noise to really block out a lot of things that might wake you up. You really want to make sure that your sleep is rhythmic and cyclic, coming in and out of deep sleep. Overall, in a fitness world that's always pushing you to do more, go harder, and push yourself to your breaking point, when it comes to recovery, doing less is actually more. As you continue to execute your program, monitor how sustainable it is for you. Some variables to monitor for sustainability are enjoyment, stress on your body, and how it fits into your schedule. Muscle building is a long-term process that will naturally take you years and years to even get close to your natural limit, so making sure that you're doing a program that you can follow long-term over those spans of years is super important. If you aren't enjoying the exercises or the split that you're doing in the gym, don't be afraid to mix it up. If you're not enjoying what you're doing in the gym and not actively wanting to go and having to force yourself to go each day, it won't be long until you completely fall off and never go to the gym again. Another sustainability factor to monitor is going to be just your overall recovery. As I said before, in a world that always pushes you to do more and go harder, a lot of people end up pushing themselves too hard in the gym and they overtrain, and that can also kill your gains. If the muscle that you're trying to hit is still sore from the last time you trained it, or your joints are beginning to feel achy or sore, or you just always feel tired all the time, you could be overdoing it. Don't be afraid to scale back what you're doing, whether that's the amount of sets or exercises, or even choosing a split that's 1 day less than what you're doing. Finally, constantly assess how your training plan fits into your schedule. At the very beginning, if you're young or in college or at high school, you might be able to go 5, 6, 7 days a week. Not saying you should do that, but your schedule may allow that. Over time, as you get older and take on more responsibilities, you get a job, kids, college, the amount of time that you have to lift may go down, so constantly assess your schedule over time as your life changes and alter it to fit what's best for you. Finally, as you proceed through your muscle building journey, it's important to keep experimenting and changing things up to find what works best for you. Remember, what might work really well in your newbie stages of lifting may not work very well as you reach intermediate and advanced stages of your lifting career. Consider changing up your lifting routine every 4 to 12 weeks. This will keep the lifting stimulus new on your muscles so you don't plateau and can continuously build muscle over time. It'll avoid overuse injuries from hitting the same motion over and over again, and it'll allow you to find new exercises that you really enjoy in your lifting career. So hopefully now you understand the most basic principles to building the most amount of muscle and become the best version of you.